Okay, let me first check if this microphone is on. Y'all not finna do this. Y'all not finna do this. This is wrong. Okay, let me do the whole fair use if I can. Oh snap! Things is freezing. Okay, hold on. Y'all know this procedure. Federal law allows FBI warning. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. And the copyright disclaimer reads: copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, I'm gonna have to come up in here. See, this is why I'm not in TikTok or even Instagram. And yeah, my husband showed me this morning, and people's reaction and comments. And no, y'all not finna do this. Y'all already, had y'all fun laughing at Genuine, a performer from my generation. Who, he chooses to continue performing. And, I know y'all did the little, y'all had all your little GIFs and memes and little videos made, making little jokes about Genuine dancing on stage, when he was doing the same OG. Y'all got y'all laugh on, and y'all making people of y'all getting your laugh on people from earlier generations still choosing to perform. But y'all not finna do this. Y'all not finna do this with Martha and the Vandellas. Now, what am I talking about? First of all, y'all not finna do this with Martha Reeves, who is the lead singer of Martha and the Vandellas. Okay, now that's two generations before me. She was represent late silent generation, but she made the music that our mamas, most of our mamas, speaking for myself, being baby boomers, that our mamas used to listen to when they were, kids and teenagers. My mama being born in the late 1940s. So definitely my mama was, listening to a lot of those songs when she was a kid and teenager, those Motown classics, for those who don't know. But what is it that I'm talking about? Let me share, because now this has become a joke, and I guess this is what she, no, y'all not finna make this the sister's legacy. Hold on, let me share with y'all what I'm talking about first of all. But we can still laugh. We can laugh, but just don't forget. I feel because somebody left a post like, "Who is she?" They didn't know who she was, but they know, But now everybody talking about this, this clip. Okay, hold on. Damn it, hold on. Give me a second, y'all, because this ain't finna happen. Yeah, ain't got. Oh goodness. Hold on. I'm finna share with you. I'm so glad you're here, Godwin. I was hoping. I said I better catch my Godwin's attention with this, because you better be here for this one. Give me a second. Doggone, I had it up. Okay. All right, I got it. So let me do the screen share. Fair use. Let me share this. Like, y'all not finna do this. Y'all not finna do this. Hold on. I may have to refresh.
This is episode.
Okay, here we go. How I go to the beginning of this?
Early life was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner can you see by the dawn's early light?
So, see my husband. Why he showed me this? Why he? Hey, Mr. K. Oh goodness. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is watch no shade. Okay, I'm posting again in my in this comment section. In this comment section, make sure to post it again. Oh goodness. Oh yeah, I did watch that one video with you know, O'Shea. I did watch that one video with the what was it like a white guy who went to found his wife in Kenya, I believe. Yeah, talking about O'Shea. He was a content creator. I did listen to that. But yeah, yeah. So this is how you doing, Mr. K? Garwin, where you at? So my husband had me listen. I'm like, oh man, that ain't finna be clowning. They're gonna be clowning this sister Martha Reeves. Y'all, no, y'all not finna do this. You're not finna do this. You're not finna do. Ooh, I can't stand social media. I can't stand social media. Y'all are not finna make this sister into a joke. Okay. All right. And you know they got. Hold on. You know they got jokes. They got jokes. Sounds like a haunted house. Now wait a minute. She looked at them like she's not a part of the problem. I'm reading the comments here. This is how I sound when I'm trying to talk and I'm crying. Sound like Mickey Mouse's grandmama. In quotations, I ain't asked for backup. I never thought I'd say this. Fergie, we forgive you. I can't stop laughing, knowing I'm supposed to take this seriously. My grandma used to sing like this in church. Sounds like Miss Fowl from Jimmy Neutron. I'm sorry. Lord, I mean, I know who they talking about. That teacher Jimmy Neutron cartoon. Yeah, I know. Forgive me for laughing. Okay, we can laugh. Okay. Because my husband was playing it this one. I ain't even fully woke it. And I'm like, who is this singing? They show, yeah, like it was Martha Reeves. Oh my goodness. Y'all would have been better off getting me. Oh goodness. I know Whitney almost walked down the stairways of heaven to snatch that. But yeah, I had to wait, ain't nobody else going to say, okay, I'll say it. This was horrible. She wanted this to be solo so bad. Okay, so I see people of all kinds, a lot of odd people up in here. And see, when I saw one person saying, who is this? I was like, okay, let me come up in here. That's what I was like. That's why I was like, okay, I got to come up in here now. All right, I got to come up in here since there are. When I saw a person, and then this would look like a black person posted, a black sister. She didn't look that young. Okay, she didn't look that much younger than me, but asking, who is this? Like, didn't know who this was. I was like, okay, and I'm assuming by the name that might have even been a Black American sister. I'm like, wait, hold on. Now it's not gonna be a thing of you gonna be clowning and talking about this woman and you don't even know who the hell she is. All right. Anyways, but let me give you the headline. Oh yeah, yeah. There are people, of course, responding. Hold on. Y'all did hear that, by the way. Let me know y'all heard that, because if you there, God, but let me know that you heard that, so I know that it played. Hold on. So I'm like, no, y'all not finna do this. Y'all not finna. Hold on. What a little TikTok. Hold on. Okay, how I get to the beginning of this? Goodness. Y'all see the TikTok, right? Damn, it's hard to rewind these TikToks, ain't it? Doggone it. I'm trying to turn it up. Why can't I hear Jack? Nah, they'll make the Vandellas. Yeah, I mean, okay. Where you at, Garwin? I'm waiting for your response. You asked what's going on with Martha Reeves. Now where you at? Okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Um. Uh. Yeah. 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 But for those who don't know, in case you don't know, okay. But let me before going further, let me read to y'all. There's an article on it. There are multiple articles on this. So what was going on? What was going on? Okay, I'm reading from the independent.com. All right, just posted. Yeah, just posted today. National anthem performance at historic women's pro baseball game goes viral for all the wrong reasons. Okay, 85-year-old Motown singer Martha Reeves performed the Star Spangled Banner at the historic women's baseball game. Now, the women's pro baseball league commenced its first season Saturday as the New York Heights took on the Los Angeles Queens at Roberts Stadium in Springfield, Illinois. Oh, so this happened in our capital. It was a historic game, ending in a 10-8 victory for the Queens, marking the first women's professional baseball league in the U.S. in almost 3 decades. Before that, though, the league's big debut was nearly upstaged by a national anthem performance that quickly went viral for all the wrong reasons. Classic Motown singer Martha Reeves, 85 years old, by the way, took to the mound to perform the Star Spangled Banner alongside two other female singers. However, Reeves' vocals appeared very shaky as she warbled through the anthem and struggled with the song's famous high notes. As Reeves sang, cameras panned to the audience, many of whom were smiling or visibly struggling not to laugh. Notably, one of the actual players was seen screwing up her face in order to contain herself. Absolutely nothing could have prepared me for the national anthem at the first women's pro baseball league tonight. One person captioned a clip of the performance on Twitter or X, which has racked up more than 3 million views and 3,500 comments. I admire her ability to pick a key and just ignore it, one commenter joked. Fergie can now rest. These women hold the throne, wrote another. I'm assuming, yeah, I guess they're referencing the Black Eyed Peas singer's infamous, okay, yeah. Being off work, he decided to make us breakfast. But I hear the alarm going off. I had the smoke detector. um, yeah, so excuse the smoke detector in the background. Okay, again, it says Fergie can now rest. These women hold the throne, wrote another, referencing the Black Eyed Peas singer's infamous national anthem rendition at the 2018 NBA All-Star Game. Okay, I don't know about that. Unfortunately, as singers age, especially women, see, that's why I also got to speak on this, but I lost my voice a long time ago. Again, unfortunately, as singers age, especially women, their vocal cords thin and become more brittle. It's a tough song to sing for the best of singers, but this was just an unfortunate moment for all involved, wrote a third in Reeves' defense. Reeves was the lead singer of Martha and the Vandellas, who were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995. Reeves rose to fame with a run of classic Motown hits, most famously Dancing in the Street, 1964, which became one of the most recognizable soul anthems of all time. She also fronted hits including Heat Wave, Nowhere to Run, and Jimmy Mac. Someone who may be relieved to see the rendition is someone who may be relieved to see the rendition is Patti LaBelle, who just 2 weeks ago faced ridicule for her own national anthem performance at the MLB All-Star Game. LaBelle, 82, appeared to miss some lyrics and take some creative liberties with parts of the song, which did not go down well with fans on social media. Oh, okay. So I guess she got some lyrics wrong. Yeah, because I believe Patti LaBelle still singing. She just did that verses not that long ago. Patti LaBelle is one of our greatest singers. However, why people think they have to add their own twist to the national anthem boggles my mind. Leave it alone. It was not meant to be sung with runs or making it your own, one person on X argued after the performance. I, I wouldn't. I don't even understand why people are still even singing that. It's just, in the original lyrics. But anyways, the Star Spangled Banner has a reputation for producing awkward renditions due to its exceptionally wide vocal range, treacherous melodic leaps, and the fact that it is usually performed in massive echoey stadiums or televised globally for major sporting events. Roseanne Barr, who famously drew criticism for her 1990 rendition, called the anthem the hardest in the world to sing after Ingrid Andress's widely criticized 2024 performance. Now, I do remember that with Roseanne Barr. She was doing things like spitting and, like I believe she was grabbing a crotch, doing stuff that people felt was really, really disrespectful. With our people, I understand, people have sang the anthem but after that whole thing, the controversy with Colin Kaepernick and then, it caused people to really look into the history of the national anthem and the Star Spangled Banner and all of that. And I remember I did a video some years ago because I had uncovered, a lot of us around that time had learned of its original lyrics, which were not very considerate of our people, if you know what I'm talking about. But it's seen as an act of patriotism. But anyways, where y'all at? Where Darwin at? Where you at? I'm hoping that you gonna comment. Yeah, I'm waiting for your comment, Darwin. And where you at? Yeah. But anyways, I'm not mad at the sister. But for those who don't know, all right, let me school y'all a little bit. Who is Martha Reeves? Since I seen a post and looked like it was from a sister, didn't look that much younger than myself, looked like maybe a millennial, and going by the name, I'm gonna assume that it was an American sister. And when I saw a post responding to this anthem saying, "Who is this?" Yeah, and I could even feel the tone in which she was questioning it. Like, who is this? That's how I took it. I like, hold up, let me come up in here so that she is just not just known as the woman who botched the anthem, but and made a fool of herself trying to sing the anthem. This is for the knowing. Martha Vandellas. Let me first talk about the group Martha and the Vandellas. I'm going to be giving you a quickie reading from Wikipedia. Martha and the Vandellas, known from the group Martha and the Vandellas. Let me first speak on the group, known from 1967 to 1973 as Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, just like you had the Supremes and then you had Dr. Ross and the Supremes. They were an American girl group formed in Detroit, Michigan, just like the Supremes, in 1957. The group achieved fame in the 60s as a major act for Motown Records, formed by friends Annette Beard, Rosalind Ashford, and Gloria Williams. Okay, now I didn't know that Martha Reeves was not the original lead singer. I didn't know, I'm not familiar with Gloria Williams. Maybe I am, but she passed away unfortunately in 2000. But I didn't know that she was the original Gloria Williams. I'm not too familiar with, but I didn't know that Martha Reeves was not the original singer. However, she became the lead. She wasn't the original lead singer or even an original member, but she became a member. Thanks there. She became a member after. I'm sorry. She became a member after. You guys can let me handed breakfast. Yeah, Martha Reeves became the lead vocalist after Williams' departure in 1962. Okay. And that's, Martha Reeves was the more known lead singer when they had their hits. Okay. She was the lead singer of their hit songs. No disrespect to Gloria Williams. I'm just, stressing that. So she was the known lead singer, So, so The group's hits included Heat Wave, Martha and the Vandellas. And now understand that Martha Reeves was the lead singer on all of these songs that were their hit songs. And the hits included Heat Wave from 1963, Quicksand, 1963, Dancing in the Street, 1964, Nowhere to Run, 1965, I'm Ready for Love, 1966, Jimmy Mac, 1967, Honey Child, 1960, also 1967. 6 of the group's songs reached the top 10 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. Now, you gotta understand, an artist, they're lucky to have 2 hits. You understand? Or even 1 hit. But they had at least a minimum of 6 Billboard or hits that hit the mainstream charts, that is. All right. 6 of the group's songs reached the top 10. Understand, if you can have a top 50 hit, that's a hit. If it's in the top 50 or even the top 100, I would say that that's where it's in people's memories. But they had 6 of their songs to hit the top 10. So 6 of the group's songs reached the top 10 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart, and 13 of their songs reached the top 20. That's definitely a hit on the U.S. Billboard R&B singles chart. Because even if the hits don't hit the mainstream pop charts, if it can hit the R&B, and being that this can be considered, their music can be also considered R&B music first and foremost, I think that's what would matter most, in my opinion. Okay. Yeah, so 6 of the group's songs reached the top 10 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart, and 13 of their songs reached the top 20 on the U.S. Billboard R&B singles chart, including 2 number ones. Selected members of the group were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995 and the National Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame in 2013. And for the knowing, yeah, so, okay, you heard, what's your opinion? Yeah, Martha and the Vandellas. Y'all better show some respect. Yeah, she was a skinny lead singer on all the hit songs. Boy, her and Diana Ross. So you had women within them. You had some thin women then. But yeah, I just knew that she was, the skinny lead singer. That she is up front. And obviously, this is, a picture. I'm assuming this picture, this looks like either late 60s or early 70s. And I think all of the original members besides Gloria Williams are still alive. Although, obviously, they were not singing with her. Yeah, when I looked at it, yeah. And look at the sister today. She look good. Come on, give her props. Wait. There's another photo of her. Look at this. This is her today, actually. Look at this, July 2026. And this ain't, I don't believe that, other than her image being cut out to be put in front of this poster, that's her body. I mean, she always was a skinny woman. And, of course, as our hormone levels drop, it's not, easy to maintain. But it's not just about her being skinny, because just because you're skinny, that don't mean you in great shape. But she looked like she's in, because, I've seen this picture separately. This is her body. This is her. I mean, she looked like she's still flexible, if you will. And looked like she's still, for the most part, been taking care of herself. And again, how old is this sister? Martha Reeves. Man, so she's a late silent generation. She just turned 85 years old. Okay. For the knowing, who is Martha Reeves, more specifically? Give me a wiki quickie. Born July 18, 1941. She is an American R&B pop singer and politician. Say what? Wait, hold on. Okay, she is best known for being the lead singer of the Motown girl group Martha and the Vandellas, which scored several major Hot 100 hits, such as Nowhere to Run, Heat Wave, Jimmy Mac, and Dancing in the Street, among others. From 2005 until 2009, Reeves served as an elected councilwoman in her hometown of Detroit, Michigan, U.S. I did not know this. Understand, I'm just clicking into this now. I did not know this. This is my first time reading this, really. I'm familiar with Martha Reeves, the singer, the entertainer, and I know that, I would still see her like giving commentary and stuff on music, whether it's like a VH1 special or something. So I knew she was still alive and, functional, if you will. But I did not know this. I did not know. It says from 2005 to 2009, Reeves served as an elected councilwoman in her hometown of Detroit, Michigan. U.S. United States, of course. Martha Reeves and the Vandellas were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995. In 2023, Rolling Stone ranked Reeves at number 151 on its list of the 200 greatest singers of all time. Okay. Now, like many people from the Midwest that were born during that time, like silent generation and many baby boomers and before, Martha Rose Reeves was born in Eufaula, Alabama on July 18, 1941. She is the third child and eldest daughter of 11 children. You know how it was back then. She was a baby when the family moved to Eufaula to Detroit, Michigan, where her grandfather, Reverend Elijah Reeves, was a minister at Detroit's Metropolitan Church. The family was very active in the church and its choir. Elijah played guitar and Ruby liked to sing. The children acquired their love of music from their parents. At Detroit's Northeastern High School, her vocal coach was Abraham Silver, who also worked with Florence Ballard and Mary Wilson of the Supremes and Bobby Rogers of the Miracles. Interesting. Raised on gospel and inspired by singers like Lena Horne and Della Reese, Reeves became a fan of R&B and doo-wop music. She joined the Fascinations in 1959, but left the group before they became a recording act. And considering her, in 1957, Reeves joined a group called the Delphis with Rosalind Ashford, Gloria Williams, and Annette Beard. Edward Pops Larkins formed the Delphis as a sister singing group to complement his male vocal group. The Delphis were popular local performers, and through 1960 and 1961, Reeves made ends meet, working several jobs by day, and worked as a singer in nighttime hours, singing jazz and blues standards at some of Detroit's respected nightclubs. Singing at the 20 Grand, Reeves was spotted by Motown A&R director Mickey Stevenson, who gave her his business card and invited her to audition. Reeves, who used the stage name Martha LaVelle, showed up at Motown's Hitsville, USA studios the next morning, not knowing that she was to call to schedule an audition. Stevenson asked her to answer phones while he took care of other business. And using skills she had learned in commercial courses in high school, Reeves answered phones, took notes, administered payroll for Motown's Funk Brothers. And before long, Reeves was working several hours at Hitsville as Stevenson's right hand. She also did A&R work in addition to secretarial work for Motown. By 1961, the Delphis had changed their name to the Vales and recorded singers for Checker and Checkmate Records. One day, when Mary Wells could not attend the session, Martha Reeves stepped up to the microphone and called in the Delphis. With I'll Have to Let Him Go, Martha and the Vandellas was born. Then when the Andantes, if I'm saying that correctly, could not make a session to back the Miracles drummer on songs he was recording, Martha called her group mates. The ladies, a trio after Gloria Williams' departure, provided backup vocals for Marvin Gaye's Stubborn Kind of Fellow. The single became a hit. Martha and the Vandellas backed Marvin Gaye on his first 3 singles, his first album, and on stage, even after they had their own hits. Okay. And that story is told a bit differently in the film Hitsville. According to Berry Gordy, Motown routinely recorded without a singer present in violation of union rules. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So now, with her brassy and gospel-reared vocals, Martha Reeves helped Martha and the Vandellas ascend from background singers with early songs such as Come and Get These Memories and Heat Wave, distinguishing the group from contemporaries and label mates, the Marvelettes. That's the thing. I used to get the Vandellas, Martha and the Vandellas. I used to get them and some of their songs confused with the Marvelettes. Now the Marvelettes, were they before Martha and the Vandellas? They let me open this on the Marvelettes, because I used to get, the songs and the kind of confused as a kid. Because Martha and Vandellas and the Marvelettes, the M and the V. Yeah. What was their song? Don't mess with Bill. Okay, that's the Marvelettes. That was my mama's song though. Wait, hold on. I used to get that confused. I used to think that was Martha and the Vandellas, but that's actually the Marvelettes. My mom used to, yeah, Mr. Postman. Hey. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Postman. That's the Marvelettes. I used to get them confused. Please, Mr. Postman. And don't mess with Bill. Yeah, my mom used to like them songs. Okay, but that's the Marvelettes. All right. Now again, okay, so this is how I can distinguish, okay? Because I still kind of get it confused. With her brassy and gospel real vocals, Martha Reeves helped Martha and the Vandellas ascend from background singers with early songs such as Come and Get These Memories and Heat Wave, distinguishing the group from contemporaries and label mates, the Marvelettes, who preceded them. Yeah, the Marvelettes were before Martha and the Vandellas, and the Supremes, who followed them. So Martha and the Vandellas was right in the middle. Initially, you had the Marvelettes, and then there was Martha and the Vandellas, and then followed by the Supremes. Of course, the Supremes becoming the most successful of those three groups. All right, and of course there were others, but yeah. Now, after Heat Wave became the group's first million seller, Martha and the Vandellas quickly. Hold on, let me change this image here so you can see Martha and the Vandellas. Okay. Okay, picture of them in their prime. It's sad, ain't enough people here. Now I guess y'all don't want to know. But I'm gonna still talk on this. But I know it's early. So I'll give y'all grace. Where were we at? Because we're gonna learn a little more. Let me see. After Heat Wave became the group's first million seller, Martha and the Vandellas quickly rose to become one of the label's top draws as both recording stars and as a successful live act. Martha was the one consistent member of the group, staying throughout all the group's incarnations and lineups. After the exits of original members Annette Beard and Rosalind Ashford, members replacing them included Betty Kelly. Let me see. It looks like she's still alive, but I don't know who that is. And Sandra Tilley. Okay, Sandra Tilley. I believe that's... Wait. Okay. I believe that's that light-skinned one over there on the left, but it looks like she's passed away. Both formerly of the Velvelettes. Okay. And one of Martha's sisters, Lois Reeves. Okay, and she's still alive. Among the singles released that became signature for the group are Quicksand, In My Lonely Room, Live Wire, Nowhere to Run, A Love Like Yours, Don't Come Knocking Every Day, I'm Ready for Love. Wait, hold on. Is that? No, that's not the song. Is that? Yes, I'm ready. Is that them? To learn. No. I know that's not that, because I know my mama, that was a solo singer, wasn't it? Wait, was that Martha and the Vandellas? Cause I'm red. Wait, okay, wait, but I got a list here. I got a little, like a playlist or a video somebody put together. Now, yeah, I know Jimmy Mack, Honey Child, and the group's most popular single, Dancing in the Streets. Their television appearances included The Mike Douglas Show, The Joey Bishop Show, American Bandstand, Where the Action Is, Shindig, Swinging Time, Soul Train, The Ed Sullivan Show, and with British soul singer Dusty Springfield on the UK show Ready, Steady, Go. The group was also featured in major magazine articles in Johnson Publishing Corporation. Yeah, like when you consider Ebony and Jet, and that's located Chicago. Publications including Ebony and Jet, and the newspaper Soul, and the magazine Soul Illustrated. Reeves was also an early contributing writer for Soul. Okay, so she also wrote. It says here that Martha Reeves was also an early contributing writer for Soul magazine. When original member Rosalind Ashford left in 1968, Reeves recruited Sandra Tilley. When original member Rosalind Ashland left in 1968, Reeves recruited Sandra Tilley. Okay, the one over here on the left. Okay, that you see on the left, although she's passed away. But let me see. Okay, yeah, that's after 1968. Okay, these are after 1968. Okay, this is the original. This is the original group, or this is the more original members minus Gloria Williams after they became a hit. All right, this is before Jennifer Tilley. From what I read, these other two sisters behind Martha, they're still alive. Hey, Jared. Yeah, right. You know, actually, with Martha Reeves, I've heard her singing something before, like going back to the early 2000s. They said she also did like the anthem in the. Yeah, she lost her voice, her original like singing voice a minute ago. I mean, and that's expected. I didn't believe them when they were saying even before Whitney Houston passed her voice inside. That's why also I got to come up in here speaking on this because I know personally I lost my voice when I was still in my 20s. That sucked. I jacked my voice up when I was still in my 20s, y'all. Which stinks out loud. So I'm definitely going to defend her. Yeah, okay. So let me see, where was I? Getting back on Martha Reeves. Okay, okay, when original member Rosalind Ashford left in 1968. Okay, which one's Rosalind Ashford? I'm assuming the one all the way in back. Okay, so that's when Sandra Tilley. Okay, who you see in the center. She became a member, but she passed away. Okay, so as it says here, doggone it, I'm just clicking around. Sorry. Okay, when original member Rosalind Ashland left in 1968, Reeves recruited Sandra Tilley, who's in the center, although she passed away, and the lineup of Martha and Lois Reeves and Tilley continued until 1972, when the group disbanded shortly after issuing the album Black Magic. In 1972, after Motown moved from Detroit to Los Angeles, Reeves negotiated out of her contract, ending her tenure with the label. In 1989, Reeves, Rosalind Ashford, and Annette Beard filed a lawsuit against Motown Records for royalties on the group's records not received since 1962. The company reached a settlement with women in 1991. Berry Gordy Jr. apologized to Reeves for the length of time in reaching the agreement. Wow, all the time. And the terms of the settlement were not made public. Okay, now, after leaving going into her solo career, after leaving Motown and moving to Los Angeles, Reeves was signed by MCA by late 1973. Her first project, released in January 1974, was the soundtrack for the blaxploitation film Willie Dynamite with jazz trombonist J.J. Johnson. In the summer of the year, MCA released her self-titled album produced by Richard Perry. It was reportedly the most expensive album of that time, costing $250,000, and featured other star musicians, including Billy Preston, Joe Sample, and James Taylor. Despite positive reviews, it failed to generate commercial success, as did Reeves' subsequent follow-ups on other labels, including Arista and Fantasy. Reviewing in Christgau's Record Guide, Rock Albums of the 70s in 1981, Robert Christgau said, "This attempted masterpiece doesn't make it because Richard Perry has failed the fundamental test of the interpretive producer, matching performer and material. To an extent, this is Reeves' fault. Her gorgeous voice has trouble gripping complicated ideas." Yeah, I'm going to say this. I noticed that her voice, her singing voice, me just hearing her sing, like, I think going back to, like, I know 2000, yeah, it may have been, a while since she was able to sing as she was originally able to sing. Let's see. She appeared as a musical guest on the first season of Saturday Night Live, hosted by Candace Bergman, in December 1975, performing the Christmas standard "Silver Bells" and a cover version of Jackie Wilson's "Your Love Keeps Lifting Me Higher and Higher." In Los Angeles, Reeve took acting classes at the Lee Strasberg Institute. She appeared in the movie Fairy Tales and on the television series Quincy, M.E. Oh, I remember the show Quincy with Jack Klugman. Reeves also appeared on TV game shows such as Hollywood Squares. In 1977, with the help of former Motown producer Frank Wilson, Reeves became a born-again Christian, joining the Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, pastored by Reverend E.V. Hill. She released one album on Arista Records, working with Clive Davis, boo, the chairman of the boards, General Johnson, and others, and two albums on Fantasy Records, working with other former Motown colleagues, Hank Cosby and Holland Dozier and Holland. In 1983, she performed solo on the Motown 25 special. I remember that. Yeah, she was singing Heat Wave. And she then performed in a Broadway production of Ain't Misbehavin' and reunited with original members of the Vandellas in 1989, both on record, recording for the London-based Motor City Records that year, issuing the single Step Into My Shoes and on tour. In 1995, Reeves and the Vandellas were inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and were inducted to the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2003. Reeves performed as part of the halftime show of the Super Bowl. Let me see, what would be, oh gosh, what would be XXX, okay, 32, Super Bowl 32, is that? In 1998, with her, I'm not as good with Roman numerals, with her sisters and Vandellas, Lois and Delphine Reeves. In 2004, Reeves released her first album in 24 years, Home to You, with songs she wrote and produced herself, except for a Billie Holiday cover and an updated version of Jimmy Mack. Between leaving the Vandellas and her solo career, Martha served as an early contributor to the music newspaper Soul, for which she was honored by the Black Women in Publishing organization. She was also honored for her best-selling 1995 autobiography, Dancing in the Street. Now, I have books. I don't have that. I got a book on Motown, and I got Dreamgirls. I haven't heard of that one. That should be interesting. Wild Night was featured on the soundtrack to the feature Thelma and Louise. Reeves has sometimes opened her live performances with this number, Nowhere to Run. Okay, it's her first record played by Robin Williams' character, Adrian Cronier, in the movie Good Morning Vietnam. Her solo television appearances include The Midnight Special, Soul Train, Don Kirshner's Rock Concert, The Dennis Miller Show in 1987, singing Georgia on My Mind with James Brown. VH1's Divas Celebrate Soul, singing her 1965 hit Nowhere to Run, backed by singers Martha Ambrosius and Sharon Jones of the Dap Kings on Jimmy Kimmel Live with the Crystal Method and Brain from Nine Inch Nails. Rob Fortas from Guns N' Roses and Daryl Jones from the Rolling Stones. And on Dancing with the Stars with the Temptations and Smokey Robinson. That same week, she was back on the music charts with a recording entitled I'm Not Leaving with the Crystal Method. Okay, go ahead, girl. And okay, it goes on and on and on. Okay, it says that, okay, in January 2012, she held court at London's Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club with a sold-out 6-show stand that drew celebrity guests like Phil Collins and Boy George. Yeah, she is very, very much respected. So I hope that more people step up in her defense. Yeah, we can get our laugh on it, okay. But y'all got to understand, when I saw, I had to come up in here when I saw somebody posting, it looked like it was a Black woman, didn't look that much younger than myself. Okay, she didn't look that young, like maybe a millennial. Although I'm a Gen Xer, but I'm assuming this was a Black American woman. But when I saw who is this, when I saw the post, who is this, to her singing the anthem, and I almost like could hear the tone. I'm like, oh no, I gotta come up in here because just like I don't like Bill Cosby's now, just Bill Cosby. No. I know that social media has made we can laugh at everything, but no, she's not just going to be remembered for this horrible rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. But it goes on and on and on. Okay, she receives an honorary PhD in humanities on November 25th, 2012 in Detroit. In August 2016, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas were presented in concert at London's Hippodrome, where various Motown artists recorded live albums in the 60s and 70s. Her current work, after serving on the Detroit City Council from 2005 to 2009, Reeves returned to full-time performing with nearly 50 shows annually, including a maiden. Now she made, if James Brown, the hardest working man, if he was the hardest working man in show business, I don't know who that would be today. I guess she would be the hardest working woman in show business, it seemed like. But again, after serving on the Detroit City Council from 2005 to 2009, she returned to a full-time performer with nearly 50 shows annually, including a major tour of Australia in 2010. She regularly appears at festivals in the UK during the summer, and for her performances was nominated for 2 UK Festival Awards as Best Headliner and Feel Good Act of the Summer. Reeves is a board member of the SAG/AFTRA Detroit chapter. SAG-AFTRA? Not too sure what that is. Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Arts, Detroit chapter. Okay. In 2007, she testified before Congress on behalf of musicians, session singers, and recording artists for better wages and royalties. She was honored for her hard work and courage in 2007 by delegates and members of AFTRA. She is also on the board of Sound Exchange, a nonprofit performance rights organization that collects royalties on behalf of sound recording copyright owners and featured artists for non-interactive digital transmissions, including satellite and internet radio. She made a cameo appearance in the film Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny as a passerby listening to the duo on the boardwalk. This information was revealed in the film's DVD audio commentary by Kyle Gass. Martha continues to perform concerts and club dates, both solo and with her Vandellas sisters, Lois, Motown era, Vandellas since 1967, and Daphne since the mid-1980s. And in September 2019, Martha was one of the celebrity contestants taking part on the BBC One Show Celebrity MasterChef in the UK. In 2024, go girl! Martha received, well, not to the star, because I don't care about that star on the Hollywood Walk of Shame, but still, I'm just saying go girl to the fact that she keeps going. Let's go. In 2024, Martha received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame with Berry Gordy Jr., Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, and others paying tribute at the event. And in May 2026, Reeves announced a new album. It's on Searching. It will be released later that year. Her first in 22 years. Okay, y'all say what you will. Hey, Jared, say what you will. Oh, they be talking about, wait, what you say, Jared? They be talking about Bobby Brown. I was mad at my nieces. I still revive my nieces. They had made me mad. My nieces, Nikki and Tasha, they had made me mad. Talking about, it was years ago with Bobby. Remember, this is before Whitney passed, before they broke up even. And he was being he referred to himself as the king of R&B. And I remember he was on stage performing. I remember my nieces, they were still young at the time because it was like the early 2000s, laughing. And I was like, y'all, Bobby Brown was the man. Like, now my niece, she got to feel, Tasha feel kind of, she was like, I was young then. I was like, no, there ain't no excuse. I didn't laugh at the people my mama was listening to. Like, y'all don't know. Bobby Brown was the man. Remember when he became like this joke, especially, made a reference himself, even if he's not the king of R&B, it just, the way that, and I didn't like my nieces laughing like that. And, he became like this joke, him and Whitney. I ain't like that, These young people don't know. What you said? But no, they were talking about Bobby Brown. I know. And then next time I'm at my niece Tasha's house, if she listening, she was listening to nothing but 90s music. Now this is the music, late 80s and 90s music. Now this is stuff for when I was a young adult, late teen and young adult, from the late 80s and 90s. And I'm like, what you doing listening to this? See, we all become nostalgic at some point. I'm like, what you know about this? And I'm like, now here y'all was, they would mock me like, And my little cousins and stuff are loving old school music because I be listening to stuff from the 70s and early and 80s. Yeah, mostly early 80s. So, oh, this old stuff. This old stuff. Like, and then now they doing the same thing. Same with my daughter. Now they doing the same thing. But see, the difference is I used to love when my mama would be listening to these songs. Even if they weren't necessarily my personal taste, I just like seeing my mama happy. I never felt, oh, this is Ed. I just like seeing my mama. I love telling my mama when, like, her favorite song or something. If it was a classic, if it came on, I used to love telling my mama your song on. I love seeing my mama's reaction. Sometimes it'd be funny. My mom be like, blast the box. And we be laughing. Oh, you saw the comments. You pissed. Okay. See, I needed. Okay. Yes. Okay. My husband first had me listen to it. I'm like, Lord. But then, of course, because we chuckling with each other. With her singing. But then when I saw the comments, it was like, okay, this ain't so funny now. I'm not really, this ain't too funny. It's one thing, like, we just laugh at ourselves, Like, I remember when, the Paul Mooney was making jokes on Rita Franklin, wearing them feathers and stuff. It's different when you think you're laughing with each other. But then when you see people laughing, especially if they're of a younger generation, and I am younger, of course, Martha Vandellas, she's an artist 2 generations before me. But I'm not going to, laugh at it's definitely my husband and I getting our chuckle on. But yeah, after reading them comments, I'm going to read the comments. That sounds like, and then especially when I saw, who is this? Yeah. I mean, I would have expected at least one comment or a few more. Okay, y'all. Okay, remember she's older, and she's a legend. But no, they so busy because that's how social media has made people. Before the knowing, but unlike many others who can they say that they will be able to do the same or that they've accomplished the same when they reach 85 years old. Okay. Oh yeah. What's her personal life? Let me see. What's it says here? Because it's just saying on her work history. Did she ever get married or? Yeah, that's a question. Did she ever? It doesn't say anything on her personal life, whether she's had children or it doesn't say anything. But yeah. Now, of course, because that's one of the greatest accomplishments in life too. Yeah, and you see, look at the sisters. Hold on, look at the sisters' Instagram here. Look at it. You go ahead. Martha ain't gonna stop. I know I would see her still like the commentary and stuff. Martha ain't gonna stop. She like, look at this. Hold on. August 8th. Hold on. She gonna be August 8th. She gonna be in Michigan performing. Martha ain't gonna stop. You hear me? Martha is not gonna stop anytime soon. Now you heard all, and I couldn't even read all of it. Martha ain't finna stop. You go ahead. And she's very much respected. You know how many times Dancing in the Streets alone has been covered? You had even Van Halen. Yeah, I believe they even did the metal group Van Halen, I believe, did a cover of Dancing in the Street. She is one of them artists. Martha and the Vandellas is one of them groups respected by various musicians, various genres, whether we're talking pop, funk, metal, hey, Pentazoid, Martha ain't gonna stop. So, ain't no stopping. No, go ahead. Of course, I don't want her to, because I heard that Charlie Wilson, he got to kind of rest. He kind of overexerted himself. I believe he may have suffered a stroke. Yeah, so I'm not saying, but hold on. Let me, for those who don't know, let me, fair use. I'm gonna try to not play too much. Let's from Martha and the Vandellas, and these are all the songs from Martha Reeves being lead singer. Okay, hold on. Oh wait, no, this ain't the list. I don't think I got it sped up. It is a little sped up. my baby. Oh, it got me wanting to sing, but my voice is gone. Y'all remember my video? Y'all remember my video? 17 years ago now. I feels like singing. And you gotta understand, I lost my voice all the way back in the 90s, y'all. I lost my voice a long time ago. And it just gets deeper and deeper. But that's okay. That's all right. But yeah, hold on. Somebody put together the Martha and the Vandellas 10 songs for you. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you, let me tell you this. Now, yes, we know of the Supremes, definitely. Okay, you should know of these other groups like the Marvelettes and Martha and the Vandellas. Although I did get some of the songs mixed up, me being, a kid, and I wasn't alive when most of these songs came out. But my mama, I remember when they played the Dusties, as they would call it, or the Golden Oldies on Sundays, and these songs would play. Plus, my mama, being that she was a baby boomer, early baby boomer, definitely she was like a teenager, a kid, a preteen, a teenager when, or young teenager when a lot of these songs came out. Yeah, my mama being born 1948, so yeah, this was most of my mama's teenage years. My mom and my auntie, her oldest sister, being born 1946, and my mama 1948. And yeah, so these are the songs that they listened to definitely in their teen years, preteen and teen years. So I definitely was aware of these songs, like a lot of those from my generation who were still very much knowledgeable of the songs of our parents' genre. There was a time when, we all had to listen to the same radio stations. The same radio stations, we didn't have these stations specifically for our age groups, and especially when you consider Black radio, which was also limited. So there was a time where what your mama listened to is what you listened to. And, yeah, and like on Sundays, especially in Chicago, they would play, like Dusties or the Golden Oldies. So these songs, they would be frequently playing. Yeah, she outlived many icons. That's very true. Let me highlight that. Yeah, Martha Reeves. Yeah, when you consider all that passed, it looked like most of them members are still alive too. She outlived many icons: Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, James Brown. Yeah, Whitney, Luther, Ray Charles. That's sad. Ray Charles, who didn't make it to see 85, but put respect on Martha. I heard that. Yeah, but everybody got their jokes. That's what social media has done to us. That's why you need people like me and Garwood and others to set it straight, to balance it out. Yeah, I got a sense of humor. I chuckled too, but then it was like, after reading the comments, it was like, okay, all right, this ain't cool. Somebody got to get balanced out, okay? Now, I remember when Paul Mooney was talking about, like, there's a certain point, they're shaking, when you get to shaking, and he kind of came off mean, talking about people who are shaking, and it's not funny to make fun of people. Like, I remember when there was a certain person who represented the mulatto sphere was coming at me, and I felt bad, because I had to make a video. I had made a video responding to him since he kept trolling me, on his shakiness. But me having a neurological disorder, but I feel like why I gotta always feel guilty. So then I put, of course I privatized the video, felt like raw, like you ain't supposed to be. But I do have a sense of humor, And yeah, you come crazy at me. But I remember Paul Mooney was talking about like certain celebrities, you shake, if you shake, you shake, He's making fun of like Catherine Hepburn. And he's wrong, Muhammad Ali, and talking about just shake yourself down. And there's like basically there's a point you don't need to be doing interviews in all public, and if you know that you're shaking, and of course there's things like epilepsy, Parkinson's disease, like neurological disorders, things that may cause. Yeah, like one time I wanted to share. I shared it in Facebook. Then I felt bad because it was a cat. I love cats. I like cat videos. It was a cat, looked like he was like twerking, dancing. But then I read the comments. The cat, this isn't funny. The cat's got a disorder. They can't control the way they booty shaking. I was like, why I always feel guilty? Like, um, and as a person with a disorder that may cause me to shake, I got a sense of humor. I can laugh off things, but then there's a certain point, okay, where it gets disrespectful. Paul Mooney somehow would get me to laugh at certain things I know I shouldn't laugh at. And it's sad because it's believed that he himself may have ended up with dementia. Paul Mooney himself, I remember it being rumored. Although I question, even in Paul Mooney's passing and him, I question certain things because it was very convenient with Paul Mooney. But I get what he's saying. Basically the point Paul Mooney was making through comedy was there's a point when you get older or something, if you can't sing no more, like for instance, me trying to sing now, I need to just let it go. But I'll be wanting to sing so bad. I'll be wanting to sing so bad. And then some people say, well, why can't you sing? If you want to sing, sing. Even if you sound terrible. Yeah, definitely. I've been trying to like sing praises. Praise God for this day. Hey, I try to, wake up, sing to the Most High because he's going to accept. He's not looking at your vocals and, whether or not you. But I get it. Don't make people where they feel cringe, where they, feeling uncomfortable and they want to support you. But you don't want people to lie to you if you sound horrible. So, yeah. Oh, you said the Marvelettes are still. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I did not know that. But yeah, back on the Martha and the Vandellas, for those who don't, yeah, now, yes, the Supremes of those girl groups that came out of Motown, we can definitely say that the Supremes, which became Diana Ross and the Supremes, they were definitely the most successful. However, and I don't mean that, and I'm always up in here trying to defend Diana Ross and her legacy now. Don't get it twisted. But I will say this. I do believe that my mom and auntie, I believe that they preferred, as young Black females of that era, who were teenagers of that era, they were early baby boomers, whereas those groups, they were mostly of the silent generation, late silent generation, just like a lot of the people who entertained my generation, Generation X, they were mostly baby boomers. Well, with my mom's generation, the baby boomers, they were mostly entertained by those of the silent generation, especially when we're talking those early baby boomers. Most of their entertainers were of the silent generation, okay, and maybe late GI generation. But yeah, I will say this: my mama, representing an urban girl, from Mississippi, raised in Chicago. Her and her sister, both born in late 1940s. Now, being that they were like preteens and teenagers at this time, I do believe, and I'm not saying that they spoke for every Black female or Black person, but I believe that they were actually more into Martha and the Vandellas and even the Marvelettes, more so than the Supremes. I'm just saying, going by what my mama was listening to. I don't remember my mama ever really making a declaration, but from what I recall, my mama and her sister, they would be more likely to put on a record, let's say by Martha and the Vandellas and even the Marvelettes before the Supremes. I'm just saying, I think that the Supremes, they had great hits, no doubt, but I think that they were, and I think we talked about this before, Garwin and I, at least. I think that the Supremes were more pop, a little more pop, a little more mainstream. They were more, even though they had great songs and hits. And I remember when I would watch like Give Me a Break, when Nell and her sister and Addie, her friend Addie, they get together singing. They'd always have them like singing the Supremes, like even on Good Times when they got together and had a little musical or whatever, or not musical, but they were doing the music numbers, the women on Good Times. And I noticed they'd always have them singing the Supremes. And that's all good and everything, like Stop in the Name of Love. But I just noticed that I'm just saying, well, my mom and her sister, they were more likely to listen to Martha and the Vandellas. And the reason I'm saying this is that I feel like in the hood, I'm going to just put it this way. In the hood, I think that the music of Martha and, with Black listeners, let me just keep it real. I think more Black people were actually listening to Martha and the Vandellas even more so than the Supremes. and even the Marvelettes. And this is not to say one is better than the other. I'm just talking about the sound, whether it be the vocals, the music, the lyrics, whatever it is. I'm just saying. Right. Okay. You summed it up. You hit it. You got it. You got it. Right. It's hard to say with TLC because there are a lot of black folks that like TLC, but then there's a lot of black folks who like Supremes, I'm sure. But right, exactly. Right. The Supremes like kind of equivalent to like TLC in the 90s, whereas Martha and the Vandellas, great comparison, more like SWV. But it's hard to say. I noticed with TLC, I noticed like a lot of the younger, like us, like Gen X is my age and up. We tend to be more in. We would be more into, and I'm talking black, urban, or whatever, or even southern. I think we would be more into SWV. Whereas I noticed like the younger Gen X's and millennials, so they more into TLC. Also, TLC got more of the pop. They were kind of like a hip hop. I wouldn't even say hip hop because a lot of those of us who were straight up hip hop purists, we was not seeing TLC as no hip hop. They were like, it's like they were kind of like a female version of Belle Biv DeVoe, except for Belle Biv DeVoe. I'm sorry, but they was tighter. I like Belle Biv DeVoe. I wasn't that fond of TLC because it was like they were just trying to copy them, but more for the pop charts. But it was seen as authentic because they was also tapping on hip hop. But to me, I didn't really see that as hip hop, like with the Ain't Too Proud to Beg. They were alright, and eventually they had songs that I was like, okay, like, but songs like "What About Your Friends" and all of that, that's nice, and "Waterfall," that's alright. But I wasn't like, I'd just say me, I'd rather listen to SWV and even Brownstone, Michael Jackson's group, and they hit the charts, pop charts, and even Jay, and even, yeah, but I preferred all them groups over TLC. Even Destiny's Child initially. I'm not talking Destiny's Child, I'm a survivor. I'm not talking that post Bills Destiny's Child. I'm talking about the late 90s Destiny, Get on the Bus. And the original No, No, No. I'd rather even have listened to them over. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking yeah. But yeah, like Martha and the Vandellas, I'm sorry. I think that they were more popping in the hood. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm talking to black, not just the hood, but to black listeners. I wasn't alive, but going by, yeah. And let me just give you examples of what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, you said, yeah, the shit, they mostly listen to Stax, Chicago, so they listen to Motown. It was the big three Temptations. Oh yeah, oh yeah, and see also, yeah, we were listening. I'm gonna tell you, Chicago favorites, the Dells. If you stay. Yeah, Chicago. They always would play that on the weekends. The Dells, and oh man, yeah, oh wow. But my mama did also like, legend like Sam Cooke. And my mama did also like, Sam Cooke, and who some would say is a little more pop. My mama, she was a fan of, and that's probably, also crushed it. Yeah, oh yes. And my mama loved Mary Wells. Now my mama loved Mary Wells. But let me give you some of the Marvel, so you see what I'm saying. I think I don't know if it now I can't say that my mama was listening to Dancing in the Streets. That was a little more on the pop tip, I think. But a lot of these other songs, well, hold on. So, okay, they got 10 songs here. Let's see what they got for us. Make sure the speed is. Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide. Okay, just give you a little hint. Yeah, I think that was more so on the mainstream charts. That was more of a mainstream song. Okay, what's the next one? Of course, Dancing in the Streets. But they saying it was a kind of subliminal message to this song because it's being around the time of a lot of racial conflict and eventually riots. They saying that this song, even though this song is taken more so as a dance party song to everybody, but they saying that this song, people took this song another way. Like, you know, like being that it started out calling out around the world, like as if it's a kind of signal. I love that she say Chicago first. Dancing in Chicago. And of course we all know, hey, it's on TV. Of course we all know that, yeah, right. Yeah. Now I don't know if that's what they intended, but I don't know. Sometimes songs come out where people hear it and they take it a certain way. Like I knew even as a child, ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. I did take that personally, even as a black child. We're moving, grooving. I knew even as a child, like this song is saying something more, like something more specifically to me as a black. And I was a young child when that came out, like just like kind of started school. We're moving, grooving. Ain't no stopping us now. And eventually it was kind of like adopted as this, like, also as this black national anthem. I mean, there is the black national anthem, but yeah, that song was kind of, yeah. We're moving, grooving. Yeah, so we know dancing in the streets. And of course, I remember when Bowie and yeah, this song has been remade so many times. Yeah, even Van Halen, I believe, there's a roller skate version. Of course, Bowie and Mick Jagger, David Bowie and Mick Jagger. I remember in '85 they had the little video of them dancing together. Now people kind of feel kind of cringe about that, they hip bumping and stuff to it. And of course, yeah, these are the bigger hits. Yeah, I believe this was their first hit. Yeah, this is kind of the stuff too my mama would. It's like a heat. Yeah, I'm trying to keep this up. Yeah, because I'm eventually, I'm gonna start turning on monetization. But I can't if I keep on playing copyrighted music, but I can't enjoy it. I like listening to the music. That's what's making the streaming hard. See, it's like they'll let you play a couple seconds or something. Yeah, y'all know that. Okay. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Jimmy Mac. Jimmy Mac. Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy Mac. When are you coming back? Okay, yeah, I definitely know that. Oh goodness, I'm getting sad. I'm thinking about my mom and my auntie, both of them. All of the older people in my life. Rest in peace. Oh, I like this one a lot. Yeah, this is stuff that this is stuff here. My baby needs me. What? Vietnam anthem? How's that? Really? I ain't know that. How you doing, Nate? Nate Blue? Nate Blueberry? Vietnam anthem. Oh, you see how young I am? Yes, how young I am. I like this. Yeah, this here. My baby. You know what? Screw it. We gonna just let some of this play a little bit. Screw it. You get that. It is what it is. What it is. Oh yeah. Now that's Martha's voice right there. She had a beautiful voice and also a strong voice. Beautiful and strong. I do want to play more of that. Okay, now I'm trying to remember Quicksand. So maybe I'll know when I hear it. But they said that this was a hit too, but I don't remember that name. I don't know. It sounds. I don't know if I'm. Oh, I know this. Okay, I think I heard of this. I heard a quick sound. Oh, okay. Let me see. In my lonely room. Let's see. Yeah, she went to church on those songs. Okay. Yeah, I need to play some. You want to come up here, Garvin? Let me know. Let me know. In fact, I'm gonna just put the link out if you want to while I'm still talking on this before I leave, because it's once again time for me to do my hair. So, and my husband is off this week, so he's here with me, and want to get ready to go and do something before this week is up. Hold on. This is vacation week, and we don't quite know what we're going to do yet this week. Give me a second. And my grandchild's still off school. Okay, so that is the link. Now, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that, honestly. Okay, this is Love Makes Me Do Foolish Things, I think. I don't know if I heard of this.
Love has made a fool of me, got me doing things that shouldn't be.
I don't know if I heard of that. Okay, so Honey Child next. Let me see if I heard of this one. This got a post 1968 sound. Oh, I heard it. Yeah, I know this. Okay, I heard of that. I heard of that. Okay, now this is the one here. I'm ready for love. I don't think this is the song I think it is. It can't be the song I think it is. I'm ready for love. Because I thought that was a solo singer. But let's hear it. Go. Okay. Okay, they saying I'm ready for love. Okay, what is it that I'm thinking? I think the singer's name is Barbara or something. My baby. Okay, wait. Ready to learn. Barbara Mason. Okay, that's what I thought they were. I was like, cause wait a minute. I know that's not. I thought when they said I'm ready to love. I thought they were talking about this song here. I was about to say no, this ain't because I know this. This song kind of when you now look at the lyrics, kind of sound a little fast, like sound like somebody about to lose their virginity or something with this song. Is this woman still? Is this sister still alive? I don't even know how to love you. Oh my goodness. I hate this. I just want to play this song. Okay, here we go. What's up, Garwin? Hold up, wait. Oh, there we go. Garwin, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Wait, hold on 1 second. Let me, Nate Barry, what makes this Honey Child post 1968 sound? I don't know. It sounds like it's the music. I'm using. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna look it up. Honey Child by Martha and the Vandellas. Let me see if I'm right. What year, Honey Child? Oh, I'm so. Oh no. It said 1967, but released in 1968. So I'm good, ain't I?
Oh, you're good. Okay.
How you doing, Gary?
All right.
What you got to say on this?
I had to go off on them people comment and all like that. I had to because that wasn't even necessary. You got them. You said yourself. The woman's 85 years old. Okay,
Right,
she's
right.
a living legend. I mean, look at all the icons she outlived: Michael Jackson, James Brown, Ray Charles, Whitney, Luther, Marvin Gaye, and many others. I mean, who didn't make it to 85?
And look, this black woman here, somehow
Yeah.
Fergie has been overthrown, and I never thought we'd see the day.
Hmm.
Everybody being funny. I was thinking the same thing.
And I had to let you know, you was talking about Motown, that your mom and her generation didn't listen to that much Motown. Like I said before, if they did listen to Motown, it was always the big three.
Right.
Also, from my experience, Temptations, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, and Marvin Gaye.
Oh yeah.
Like I
Well,
said,
if
I
I would
saw
pick most,
I,
my
I
mama
I've seen a lot of I've
would
seen
be
many
mama.
I've seen many record collections, and if I saw Motown, it was those three artists, definite. And
Oh yeah.
they would listen to Chicago Soul, Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions,
Oh yeah.
Jerry Butler.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
they would listen to Stax and all like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think 'cause it was a grittier, um, if you will, if you want to call it gritty, or maybe I shouldn't use the term gritty. Maybe I'm
Well, just get down to the nitty gritty. It is what it is. I mean,
yeah.
Motown basically, like they say, it was the sound of young America. It appealed to a large crossover audience. The music was good, no doubt about that. But what they wanted global.
It makes me
You
want to
know,
play from that documentary where they was talking about when okay, it went from this like okay, when Barry Gordy was being kind of criticized, Motown Records, it shouldn't be the sound of America, but it should be the sound of Black America.
right, right.
People were criticizing, like saying, especially considering the times and what was going on and everything. And look at this, look at this. Now this,
But you have to understand, Barry,
look at this.
that
I'm finna make you mad again. Look at this, Mo Dub, laughing my effing ass off, hooting and fucking hollering. So is it that we don't have a sense of humor?
I don't know, or they young and they probably don't even know that much about Martha Reeves. You have
Well,
to
let me
understand that.
play a little bit. Okay, because we gotta admit this does sound,
I've heard it.
So proudly we hail
I know who them two white women with us singing.
I don't know.
the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and
I gotta let you know something. I
Now,
mean, like I said, she's old, but also does she smoke? Because remember, I'm not saying if she does, don't. But remember, Eddie Kendrick's voice was shot for a while right before he died.
well, I think I heard that. Yeah, and he was
You
known
know,
as the falsetto,
right?
the original
You
falsetto.
know, and he was only in his 40s. This woman is 85. She is a senior citizen.
Well, I think
Give
she
her-
was like me because I don't think she'd still be alive. I know they all were smoking back in the day, but smoking cigarettes that is. But
Right.
but I think she might have been like in the case of me. I was never no smoker. I was never a smoker. But it was just okay. Like I was an alto
I know you told me.
range that was I used to sing copy many repertoire voice,
Right.
even though that was not my vocal range. I was doing things like using nasal spray that might have did some damage to clear my, my vocals, and I ended up catching laryngitis like 3 times, and it didn't. And
That did it
it was a
too.
thing. She sounded like she was an alto. Martha Reeves. If I
Yes.
were to diagnose her vocal range, I would say that she was an alto. Like I believe
Right.
Mariah Carey deep down is an alto. You know,
I got you.
right, but although Mariah Carey can hit soprano notes naturally, if you listen to Mariah Carey, I do believe Mariah Carey does smoke cigarettes. But if naturally, like me, she's an alto, and I think that when you're singing beyond your range, especially if you have a naturally deeper voice like myself, Phyllis Hyman, Anita Baker, we kind of got naturally deeper voices. And when you're hitting notes, then you're continuously stretching and doing damage
to your vocal cords. That's
right, right,
no doubt.
right. And that might have been because I could tell even listening to some of the oldest songs like Heat Wave. Yeah, Martha Reeves she was an alto. I would place her in the category of alto. Or somebody like Patti LaBelle is actually more soprano. Definitely in the case of like Minnie Riperton and Denise Williams, those are definitely sopranos. And even Patti LaBelle, she would still be put in, even if her voice isn't as high as Denise Williams, or she would still be put in the category of soprano. Patti LaBelle, I believe. Right. Yeah. Whereas myself, yeah. I think even Shaka Khan, I think she's even an alto, even if she's not. Now I would be considered contralto. I might even be now a female baritone. As crazy as that.
Yeah, I actually, yes. But, in my case, it was cigarettes. And then, smoking a pipe,
Oh. So. Now, when I was initially in choir in school, I was put in the category of alto. Whereas now my voicing out so deep that they would definitely consider me contralto.
Right.
Or either that, or if there is a such thing, like that one white singer from the group, that new age group. She's from the UK. Don't Stop Now, don't you know? She's considered they put her in the category of female baritone. I didn't know there was a such thing.
Well, in some cases there are. You have to
look
with the ranges. But also, I was a bass singer as well, because we sang in a quartet and nobody could do bass except me. We did Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers.
Can you do it now?
Yeah, the bass. Like that.
Okay, I will step my fingers to it. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Kali Uchi. Is that a new singer? Yeah, what'd you say? Female? Oh, don't do that to me. I already had to endure being called a tomboy as a kid. No. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example of a female baritone. Hold on.
Yeah, do that.
Or that's what they put her in. What's it? Oh gosh. Okay, she was the lead singer.
We did Get Ready. I did the bass part. Yes, I was in a doo-wop group, Pentazoid. Did Get Ready, Melvin's voice,
Yeah, we've been in here singing. What's the singer? Oh God, she was with the group. Yes. Oh, what's her name?
Yeah. See, I could still do it.
I'm gonna have to play some music. I didn't know there was a video though to this. Or yeah, okay, Alison Moyer. I'm telling you, I did not know until social media. I had no idea. Alison Moyer. I thought this was a man. Now,
no, I could have told you.
You into house music. If you're from Chicago, New York, or whatever, you into house music and new wave and high energy and all that, you gonna know these songs here. Or like if you're from the UK.
Yeah.
I used to play this with the Chicago mixes all the time.
Yeah.
I thought this was a man. Yeah.
Nation. I dress for every situation. Moving through the doorway of a nation. Pick me up and check it out. Baby, I can't do without. Don't mess around. You bring me down. How you get about? Don't make sound smooth out.
I thought, can you imagine? It blew my mind when I found out this was a woman. Because I remember my brother brought home this song here. There was no video. He's like, man, y'all gotta check this out. It's tight. This is 1983, State Farm. I know I played these songs before, but I remember he brought home the single, the 45,
Oh, you did?
Yeah. My brother was like, y'all gotta check this out. My brother, he used to hang out. It's this dude up in here that used to be like with the Golden Sphere on their panels. But even before, we knew him even before. What's that one dude, Leonard Elroy or whatever? And he probably know my brothers. Yeah, he kind of be critical of black folks. Yeah, I seen him. He used to be on the Golden Sphere. He been in YouTube for a minute. But I know he probably know my brother. Because, yeah, he used to do like house music DJing. He up on house music. Yeah, I remember.
This one got his back up.
they had it listed as a female baritone. That's been. I mean, this is my brother's like, hey, y'all gotta check this out, because you gotta understand the '80s, black folks was kind of, but this was very much underground. This wasn't on the pop charts. Okay, this wasn't getting radio.
Right.
Yeah, BMX. Sometimes Chicago would play this very rarely.
High and dry, tar up, stove burning, fill her up now for the tempers turning. Souped up, jacked up, cracked up, stacked up. Louis got the rear and Charlie's got his back up.
Go! I'm thinking it's female. Hey, I'm doing things.
It's only that feel good.
Yeah, this is. It was a little breakdown part. DJ Mega.
Somebody feeds the show, ain't straight on who buys the tickets and who buys the clothes. Puts the liquor in his stomach and the powder up his nose. Oh! That's right. Get down, boy. Get down. No! No, boy. Get down. Get down.
I'm telling you, you had brothers. I'm talking like in Cabrini Green on the south side of Chicago, listening to stuff like this. I know it's hard to believe, but you did have, but I'm telling you, what was the other song? Don't Stop Now, Don't You Know? I'll Never Let You.
And you said that was a man singing?
That's a woman.
Oh,
This woman right here. Yeah.
I got you now.
Alison Moyet. This is a woman.
Oh, you talking about her? I got you now. I thought
This is the same singer, the one I just played.
Okay.
Can you imagine? Because understand, you didn't see this video. I never saw it on MTV because they were even prejudiced. Like let's say if it's a white artist and they sound a little too, like if they were, exactly. If the music was a little too, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they opened up eventually for like Human League and Duran Duran, but stuff like this, no, I don't remember MTV even playing. Guess what? The black, I know in Chicago they would play this like in the mix. More on the new wave, high energy, like Lime, and if I were to say another song, this was the group. This is Alison Moyet. Yeah, she's lost weight today. This is her today. She's lost weight today. And her hair is longer today, so she's still performing. Alison Moyet. Yeah, but these were the things that they didn't really get the MTV promotion, but yet that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of these songs that black folks know that white Americans don't even know. You understand what I'm saying? But black people, like in the United States, we do know. Like especially if you're in cities like Chicago and stuff, where they played a lot of this underground dance music, like we definitely knew from the house music mixing to the house music DJs, whether they were black or whatever, they would play these songs that even a lot of white Americans don't even know about. I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? Unless they were part of that. Yeah, unless they were part of that underground. You understand what I'm saying? Now, maybe if they were white kids that were into all that new wave and high end, and part of that, all that was underground. You know what I'm saying? And like you got them white folks who's up on this on the north side of Chicago, the really cool white folks that were into this stuff. That was after the whole Death to Disco stunt. DJ Mega Aim. It wasn't just a prejudice against, of course, first and foremost, the prejudice against whatever they saw as black, but also whatever they saw as if it's too black. You know how they categorize us all together, like today they use the term woke. Right. They put black, they put gay, they put it all in, even if we ain't got nothing to do with each other, but they'll group us all in the same box. That's what they were doing with disco. If it was too black, if it was too, what they considered too gay, even if the artists weren't gay, but if they filtered, like for instance, if there was too much synthesized sound, you understand what I'm saying? If it was too funky, it was all grouped together. Even if we had nothing to do with each other, you know what I'm saying? It was all disco. If it was too this, yeah, if it was, yeah. And so there were a lot of, because MTV, there was a prejudice even against a lot of those British artists. But they eventually opened up, being that they're still white. They eventually, I think that Duran Duran helped open it up for the British artists with the song Rio. Her name is Rio, and yeah, they was, and eventually like Human League, don't you want me? But a lot of like artists like this, or Canada's group Line, they were French Canadian. They hell no, MTV and stuff, they in the white radio stations, like white folk, they ain't know a damn thing about they didn't play nothing like this, but yet even that Leonard, yeah, he had a video on it, I believe, where it was those songs. I think it was his video that even the black radio stations, or at least during the mixes, like in Chicago, they would play. I can't speak for New York and these other. I'm assuming they did too, but like this right here. I know the lead singer passed away not that long ago. He didn't went straight up trans. They were like very
Move down, make it slide. Beam on up to the other side. Touch up, make me rise. I got to move to the other
yeah.
side.
MTV was very white American, even though the group or very very or yeah, they of course they played UK artists, but it would be something like what's the dude, the my Sharona, it would be yeah, that's how MTV originally was. They were very very yeah, they and I believe they were trying to appeal to the late baby boom, them Gen X's, early Gen X's, who wanted to bring it back to rock and roll, dude.
That's what they did with My Sharona, basically.
Right.
And,
like
back in 79 and 80 with Queen, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, remember?
Right.
It had that Elvis Presley vibe to it, if you ever heard it.
Right. Why you think that was with Freddie Mercury wanting to do a song like Another One Bites the Dust?
Which was also an ode to death to disco, basically black music, if you notice.
Right.
And the funny thing about it, black people like that song.
Right, exactly. My family definitely had. Well, my family had Queen music even before that, but
I hated the song.
You didn't like it?
No, I hated it.
I liked it. That was I'm scared to listen to it now because it's Freddie Mercury, demonic stuff. But yeah, talking about he'd like to go to hell. Talking about it's probably really fun. It's people in hell or something. Like, okay, Freddie, all right, you talking that stuff. But yeah, look, thank you, Chicago, for giving us house music. Even though this isn't originally Chicago, this is Canadian. But it's just the fact that, yeah, they would be playing. And I'm talking on the black radio stations. They were playing this stuff that the white radio stations weren't even playing. Really. You know what I'm saying? You had to. So, of course, that caused white folks, to come to what we were listening to. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think, like I said, that's what draws Latinos and eventually to the hip hop culture, you know what I'm saying, like in the Bronx and stuff, because after they did this whole Death to Disco, that left out a lot of other groups who, you know what I'm saying, it was not just a backlash against black artists, of course, we first and foremost being hit and affected, but also artists who did music, who wanted to do music that was because you gotta remember too, in the early 80s, you had them punk groups that were kind of like Talking Heads and trying to tap into funk and all of that. But yeah, and speaking of, getting back to like what we were talking about, with the and I was also another example that I didn't know. I thought of Deep Voices. I didn't find out. Well, I found out back in the 80s, but it was years later. I did not know that this was the Pointer Sisters. Actually, this is my favorite song by the Pointer Sisters. I didn't like all that other really mainstream stuff. I can't say that I like Jump and all them songs, but I did like this. But seriously,
But you know, they was more soulful in the 70s.
Oh yeah, I know you got a chick on the side.
Right.
Yes, I
This
was
is when they crossed over.
Right. I think it kind of may have began with that Slow Hand song.
No, actually, that song they did the year before, He's So Shy.
Oh, you're right. He's so shy. Yeah, but that was still kind of R&B-ish.
No, it wasn't. It was straight pop. Come on.
Little boy. It was still, hold on. We're going to have to go to that now. Hold on. That was still
DJ got it right. DJ Mega ain't got it right. 70s Pointer Sisters was way better.
But yeah. But he's so shy. In all fairness, that was not, hold on. I get what you're saying. I feel the little kind of almost like, but I do feel kind of a Dionne Warwick. No, wait. That was still.
Saw him standing there. I longed to speak, but did not dare. Something inside.
Man, only one sister left, and I think she was the oldest. The only sister that's left is Ruth over here on the right.
Yeah, because I remember they did this song on the Love Boat with Isaac. I remember that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember being on Love Boat, but I can't.
Yeah, they sang this song.
I definitely remember this song. I remember when it was on the radio. I definitely remember the song, but that sound crossover for the 80s, like entering into the 80s. But
yeah,
I still,
because it did come out in 1980.
Yeah, I still see this as R&B though.
And then he smiled to do some breaking through.
The 80s song.
He's so shy. He's so shy. That sweet little boy you caught my eye. He's so shy. He's so shy.
Well, I would think it would be more. This seemed more a crossover to me. I thought they were crossover.
It has that, vibe of, remember the Doobie Brothers, What a Fool Believes.
Right, but Doobie Brothers, yeah, it sure does. What a fool, man. But the Doobie Brothers was still they were like on that. So I know that.
No, they weren't either. Stop it.
Come on, okay, I can't lie. My family did like the Doobie Brothers. Minute by minute.
Oh, okay, you talking about that, but them early songs, no, that was.
But come on, they did have Michael McDonald. They did have them songs.
Yeah, when they brought in Michael McDonald, but prior to that,
okay,
I'm talking about early Doobie Brothers, like Listen to the Music and what's that other one? Blackwater, the one.
Oh wait, that is them. You talking about whoa, listen to the music.
Yeah, that's before Michael McDonald joined.
That's the Doobie Brothers.
Like I said, that's before Michael McDonald joined.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding.
Whoa, listen to the music.
That's them.
Yeah. Damn. Boy, that was a transition, wasn't it?
Yes.
Kind of like Fleetwood Mac. I didn't even realize. Now that you think about it, I think you're right. Whoa, listen.
I know I'm right. I don't mean to be
wait. We gonna have to. Now you got me up in it. We gonna have to.
But you know music. Yeah, you know music. No, I'm the music connoisseur, Lashid. No disrespect.
Hold the phone. Y'all always trying to one up me up in here. If it ain't you, it's the sewer. Y'all always hold up. This show is a Doobie. Oh my goodness! Now you know this before I was born. Is that? I know this song though, but you telling me this the damn Doobie Brothers?
Yes. Yeah, Pentazoid got it right. The early Doobie Brothers.
Wait, there's brother there. Okay, hold on. Brothers I know from my memory. I mean,
I know
this-
Michael
I know this
McDonald, right?
song. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. I know this song. Listen to me. I did not know that was Doobie, but I just didn't.
Like Pinazoid said, they were more the vibe of the Allman Brothers back in that time.
How the hell? Now this is more the Doobie Brothers I remember. Hold on, from my childhood. My brother used to sing this and mess with me, but he'd be poking at me, like kind of tickling me with the song. Oh, hold on. Yeah, this is more my memory, Doobie Brothers.
I don't need your hand. I know I could turn. Think that you'd be gone. I
please.
must be prepared. Anytime to I keep holding on. I'll be holding on.
Wait, and what's the other one? What a fool minute.
Yeah.
What?
Who believes?
Yeah, this is more the Doobie Brothers I'm more familiar with. Kind of had a Steely Dan thing kind of happening.
Yeah, in a way, yes.
Yeah, this is my childhood, my early memories.
You hear the synthesizers
Yeah, okay.
like Pointer
She
Sisters.
trying hard
Yeah.
to recreate what had yet to be created. Once in her life, she musters a smile for his nostalgic tale. Never coming near what he wanted, had a place in his life. She had a place in his life. He
I gotta run this down. What a fool believe.
apology. Anybody else
Boy,
would
she
surely
knows.
know. He's watching her go. What a fool
This is stuff I remember. Then I remember then he went solo. By the 80s, he was solo. Wait, what was the song?
I keep forgetting.
Forgetting, yeah.
Warren G. Regulate.
Yeah, that's the younger people. Yeah, I remember he went solo. I keep forgetting.
And you know their biggest hit was not with Michael McDonald. There's a song called Black Water.
I'm gonna have to go to that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't with Michael McDonald. Interesting.
Right.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we were at Edgewood, I think, by this time. This was, I think, 83.
82.
That was close. We had to do it.
I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you made that so clear. I keep forgetting now.
I couldn't stand that song, though, he did with Patti LaBelle. I was so tired of that. On my own. Oh, gosh, I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these guys, I've noticed they have this.
It wasn't
They
singing.
emulating Ray Charles. That's why I can't get with them guys.
You didn't like Michael McDonald?
No,
He was all right.
not to me.
Oh, I know that George Clinton in Parliament Funkadelic kind of dissed him.
Yes, and I agree.
How they make my funk P funk. What was the song he did with who was it? Y'all gonna be there.
James Ingram,
Yeah,
y'all gonna be
forgive
there.
me,
That's
with
the
the
song.
with the late James Ingram. That was, yeah, come on, you like that now. You know you like that.
I don't.
Him, I remember the video even.
Now he did one with Gregory Hines also, Sweet Freedom from that movie.
Yes, I was thinking of that too. Shine, sweet freedom.
Right.
Yeah, something like that.
You know that was filmed in Chicago, don't you?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember the movie, but I remember that video too. Yeah, this is. Come on, this is a song. You know this was a song. You know this was the ish. Now, as a kid, it was hard for me to distinguish their voice.
Yeah, the movie Running Scared.
Like McDonald and yeah, I remember the video too. need to make that.
Heavenly Father, watching us fall.
Okay, that's the same thing with that right there.
We take from each other and give nothing at all. Well, it's a doggone shame, but never too late for change.
Yeah, that's the same thing with that.
So if your love runs low, just reach out and call his name. His name. Come on, be there. Come on, be there. Come on, be there. Come on, be there.
Okay, are you done yet?
Whenever you call.
Okay, oh, okay, Michael McDonald's part.
Never be lonely, lost in the night. Just run from the darkness, looking for the light. 'Cause it's a long, hard road that leads to a brighter day. Hey, don't let your
Y'all won't be. That was a great combination. Though. Did you like that song, girl?
No.
Don't lie.
I'm not lying. No, I didn't.
You, oh goodness. Come on now. I think you don't like the synthesizer. I think you kind of you very baby boomerish.
Yes, I am. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what it is. You don't like a lot of the synthesizers.
Because basically the synthesizers is doing the instrumentation for you. They're not really playing no instruments, if you know what I mean.
But I mean.
And this was done in '83. You notice they had they had those electronic drums. I mean, you really didn't have to play them. I mean, I remember these drums. All you do is just tap it, pop, and it'll do the rhythm for you. You just tap it with your finger and it go do-do-do, do-do-do.
You don't think, okay, I understand, because the way that I can't stand, if you notice, even with my thumbnails, I'm not even really trying to learn AI, to be honest. I do appreciate, like Watchmen Reports, they've been using AI for thumbnails, and I understand, not everybody, I can understand, okay, technology is supposed to make things more
yeah, but they're getting carried away with this AI shit.
Yeah, I can't stand the AI. I am not trying to learn, especially when I saw how people are making rap songs. It was a channel, an exotical channel even, and they're getting everything they're saying. I realize they're getting from AI. And people are doing this where they are dissing people, whereas you got people like me who are actually OGs, creators, who, you know what I'm saying? I wrote my lyrics, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't like this, me being an artist. So I do understand the frustration now that some people are feeling.
Exactly. DJ Mega ain't put it in there. Facts. Read what he put in the comment.
Also, the electronic instruments take the heart and soul out of music. It takes out the warmth and texture of the music.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying, but you got, me also being younger, and you being younger too, DJ.
But he knows what's up.
But
he knows what's up.
I'd be lying if I said, okay, one example. Okay. I feel like technology it can add to your creativity. Like I'm not totally against the synthesized sound. I like Bootsy Collins talked about, and talking about the synthesizer and all these sounds, and there are those like myself who we can appreciate that, because you gotta understand, I'm from Chicago, and of course we love house music, so of course we're gonna have a appreciation for drum machines, synthesized sounds. Like I love Pet Shop Boys, Western Girls. I love a lot of that stuff. Like me, I listen to like the high energy, the new wave. I love, for instance, I love, y'all know I talk about New Order, the group New. I like these songs, and that's just kind of more of a my generation thing.
Okay.
And also me being from, being in the house, stuff I love. I can't lie. And some of these sounds, see, I'm okay with initially when it's about people. This is stuff I love. I can't lie.
That's also about our, I'm a great, also I got a big imagination. So I used to be like in my own little world with this kind of music. Yeah, okay, so of course it sounds like this. This is the long original version. The original, and this was way ahead of its time. This actually came out 83. Those of us Chicago and stuff like in New York, we knew of this song when it came out. And if you're in the UK, however, the mainstream didn't know really about this song, or it didn't really become on the main till like 1987. But we knew of this song back in 83. This is the original version. Long version,
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, this is ahead of its time. It sounds like,
It reminds me of I'm Ready. Oh.
Hold on. Okay, right here. It was so 80s. It was so.
It reminds me of that song by Kano, I'm Ready. If you remember that.
Yes. Good example. And I think that was still like 70s or early 80s. Now this
No, I'm Ready came out in 1981.
Okay, yeah, that was like early. Yeah, so you gotta understand this is stuff. Yeah, it's been used later in samples, hip-hop samples even.
Right, yes.
When they use this later, I couldn't stand it.
Whoop, there it is.
Yeah.
Right.
This is the OG, this is the stuff. Yeah. So of course. Oh, you gotta stop. What do you say, boring ass? How is that? That's the opposite of boring. Are you kidding me? Okay, understand. Now my family had moved to the suburbs, right? Around and I mean, but we were already listening to certain things. Now my one brother, he decided he wanted to stay with his father's family in the city, right? He never came with us to the suburb. My one brother, right? And I remember when he came to visit with us, like this was around 85. And we would listen to the house music with a lot of electronica. And then I remember my brother, he was a house head who stayed in Chicago. He wanted to listen to the house music because I noticed that there's house music, like let's say those on the south side, west side of Chicago preferred, the black people, more black people preferred versus, my brother, he was criticizing the house music we were listening to, right? Because we were listening to, we were listening to we were listening to we were listening to stuff like this, right? It was too though, but we were kind of going my brother, so we were with and see, you can see
a whole techno pop. That's what you was listening to.
You gonna see you gonna see a bunch of black folks in these comments. I'm telling you, we were listening to stuff kind of more like this. It was.
Okay, I got you.
This is the same brother though that brought the State Farm music, but he was still more into. He had a house music he was still listening to that garage And so we were kind of you get what I'm saying? He was still listening to more Philly South Soul influence. You know what I'm saying? Where we got a lot of, like I remember they had different mixes in Chicago. There was Folly Jack Master Funk. That's what a lot of the black folks. He used to be Folly Funk and Key. A lot of black folks like Folly Jack Master Funk. My brother and I, okay, like my one brother who was more eccentric, we like Mickey Mix and Olive. But my other, and then there was my brothers too, was in between. So, but you gotta understand, yeah, my brother, so he was like criticizing us, like, y'all like that stuff that Puerto Ricans like. That's what he was claiming. He's like, man, y'all like that stuff. He was still even listening to, and don't get me wrong now, at first, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, back then, I was like, man, this stuff is disco. This is, it's 1985. Like, you listen to this disco stuff. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I like this stuff now. But he was still listening to, like, Lolita. Yeah, they knew what I was looking for. He was still listening to stuff like this. Don't get me wrong, Lolita, she's actually from Chicago. Yeah, he was still listening, and I noticed we go to the house music shows. Man, I just missed the shows a few DJs. Yeah, he was still. Yeah, like you remember when I was playing I got my video of me at the House Music Festival. Yeah, we were like. So we were kind of criticizing him because he was still like real old fashioned. Also, he was like Thighs High. He
Tom
was
Brown,
Tom Brown, Thighs High. Too. Yeah, that stuff in the house music mixes. Now we all like, I got my mom made up. Come on, you can get
Instant fuck.
Yeah, we all like that now. We all gotta. Yeah, but he was like, wait. I'm like, bro, we moved. Yeah, like this ain't exactly house music though, bro. Like so he had his mix, and it was still using songs like this.
To the sky.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it now. I appreciate it, but we were like, you get what I'm saying? But believe it or not, this was the stuff that was being played in music. But see, we was at a point now where we listening to we listen to stuff like this that if you want to call it weird. That's why I did just the house music. Listen, we up on this time. Yeah, we like. I remember.
Standing at the machine every day for all my life. I used to do it and I needed it. The only thing I want is just to rush. Push.
I ain't never heard of this.
Yes, this is Bostic. This is Yellow. Wait, what is the group name? Bostic of the song? Yellow. I think the group name. Okay, they had another hit song. Oh, I wouldn't say hit, but it was known for the Ferris Bueller. It was known for the. The group's name was Yellow. That was the group's name. It was known. You may know this song.
I gotta ask a question.
You might know this right here. You'll probably know this one from a certain movie.
But I need to ask a question.
Yeah, I know you know this one. I believe they were like Swedish. Yeah, go ahead.
What does all this have to do with Martha Reeves, though? I mean, you just going all over.
You know I'm taking advantage of you to talk about music. But yeah,
But you talking about some music I ain't never
also,
heard of.
Y'all making me mad because this is what's making me mad. Where do people listen to that's how I'm feeling like left out, because either the people are older than me or they like an older sound or they're younger than me and they want. Where's the people my age at? Or just the people that was like listening to what I was also like. I couldn't find nobody up in here of my people that would want to discuss freestyle even. See, y'all would think that's just a Latino thing. Like that's what be making me like I be feeling like I'm an outsider. My brothers is not trying to talk about no damn freestyle with me. Now they may have listened to Let the Music Play Shannon and some of that earlier, but they ain't trying to. Ain't no way I'll be able to get my brothers to be up in here talking about this song here with me. There's no way, because see, they're older Gen Xers, born mostly in the 60s.
Right.
So they ain't
can't get with it.
Yeah, they ain't gonna sit with me and talk with this a song like this with me. So, this is why I have my Latina friends in the suburbs. We're but okay, but I still gotta, of course, my first love is funk. Okay,
I know that's why you tripping me
But-
out with this.
Well, okay, well, hold on. No, you ain't finna leave. Now I gotta tell you. Hold on.
I
Since you
got
wanna
to
talk
though.
okay, no. Okay, since we're talking about the synthesizer, and see, DJ McAim, he's younger, but he's also like you. Y'all both musical snobs. That's what I used to call what's the name? Musical snobs. That's what.
Why gotta be that?
Because that's what I called. What was his name? That used to be the message for him. Oh goodness. Now he was a real musical star. Because like my friend Haji, who used to DJ for us, who was older, he didn't like house music. He didn't like anything that came from the DJ. And see, this is the thing too. I want people to appreciate the DJ, the art of DJ. He didn't like any music that he felt was produced by like just turntables, and he didn't see that.
Well, I can understand it because it's not, no originality.
But says who though? There's
In
an
a
art to
certain
DJ.
way. I know there's an art to it, but there's more of a creativity when you're playing an instrument and creating music, so to speak.
So he was usually like my friend Haji. He was like usually the DJ at our parties, but he loved funk music, and then he could play. He played some Parliament funk, but when it came to, he didn't like rap. He didn't like house. Anything that he felt was like where it wasn't true instrumentalist, supposedly. And so, and it just like, what was this dude's name that was in the message for him? I used to go back and forth with. I forgot his name. But I just began to call him because he was the same way. We'd be discussing music. Now we could discuss some funk music, this and that. But then when I got it, and I said, you know what, you're a musical snob. That's how I believe you're a musical snob.
Oh, okay.
And you kind of just a little bit, Garvin. Not as intense as he was. Because I think you have some tolerance for some hip hop. Where he had no tolerance for anything house. Anything wasn't given it a chance, and then when you're at a point where you don't even want to consider it music, but
well, like you even admitted you don't even listen to the music that's out today.
Okay, that's true.
See, okay now.
But no, I mean, but I like it. I don't try to be young artists. I think that there's a lot of great music. I think they purposely not giving them the spotlight. I think they are purposely allowing, because I know when I see these little talent competitions, like, okay, they had a little rap thing where they were looking for the next greatest rapper. It was something on Netflix, and they had Cardi B as a judge. But I saw that there's a lot of good talent out here, but that's not what's getting. So it told me that there is still a lot of talent out here, a lot of talent. It's purpose. I think it's like they purposely want to promote the crap. Who the hell? You can't tell me. I don't care. I will never get it with a Sexy Red. I'm sorry. Come on now. You can't. You got a lot of younger people. I know it's not just me and the age thing. There are a lot of young people that's saying the same thing, but it's like they're forcing you to like. And don't get me wrong, you had crappy ass songs in my day. I'm not gonna front as if every song we listened just because it was my time. We had some whack ass songs when I was younger. I remember when I said I wasn't even feeling the music. It's just I think we called it out back then. People want to act like everything cool or something now. Back then we would call that shit out
because we're too politically correct these days.
Yeah, it's like they forcing you to like shit now. You know what I'm saying? Whereas back then, well, yeah, they kind of did that too back then, but we would definitely, and at least we still had some control to some degree of our radio stations and what we choose, but we would call some shit out as whack. If that was, I mean, when they first played, and I'm gonna just keep it real, Black or White, Michael Jackson.
Right.
And they played it on the black radio station in Milwaukee. And all the black people, this was before you had a little cool music video, the really creative music video that made people forget that song was whack. Okay. And everybody called in. They were like, this is whack. And they were
It
like,
is whack.
they had to make it or break it. They used to have on the like kiss it or diss it, make it or break it. Like
Yeah.
do you keep playing. Yeah, you remember what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They had to make it or break it.
Kiss
And-
it or diss it, and they diss it.
Right. And so the DJ played the songs.
And deep down, Michael Jackson knew it. That's why he came out with "Remember the Time" and "In the Closet."
Right. Because we first heard that, like, oh, that's whack. Okay. Everybody called in. They were like, break that. It's like everybody was calling in. All, you know, this is a black radio station. But I think people overlooked, you know, it was Michael Jackson. He had the great video after.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So people overlooked because it was a very, even though when I saw the video, I first was thinking of that Cry song where they switched the faces. You don't know how to ease my pain. Where they faces, but it was creative for that time. Michael would have them great videos. And of course, it's still Michael Jackson, and we love him. But like, okay, like I always use great examples. See, like people like Prince and Stevie Wonder. Come on, you can't. They utilize, and even Parliament Funkadelic, they used a lot of synthesizer, you know. But you know, so I think that they understood that the synthesizer, because one thing I can say about like people like Prince, and they never tried to stay stuck in the past. That's one thing I noticed about Prince. He was always evolving. David Bowie was another. Madonna, I ain't gonna lie, she's another one too who will evolve. That's why I think she was able to surpass Cyndi Lauper, because when you think Cyndi Lauper, you only think the 80s. I don't think Cyndi Lauper was really able, even though she was more talented, definitely a better singer than Madonna, but Madonna knows how to, even when it comes to her style. Prince is the same way, where it's still Prince, same with David Bowie, it's still David Bowie, but they know how to transition with the time. You know what I'm saying? Yet staying true to who they were, you know, like as artists. And so like Prince, perfect example, Erotic City, of utilizing the synthesizer. Yeah. Oh, this ain't even the long version. This is the shortened version. I'm used to the longer version. But yeah, oh yeah, I love the Tom Brown song too. I'm not gonna lie, but at that time, my brother, you know, the thighs, you know, it's just like we were. That's when it was still like, oh, you gotta head out. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you want your last thoughts on Martha and the Vandellas, yeah, I think we transitioned from talking about her being her vocal range to because I did want to mention Sade also having a deeper voice, and and like I said with the Pointer Sisters, I thought that was a man singing on automatic. But what you got to say, Garwin? I know you've been busy through the week.
As far as you mentioned Sade, you know, her vocal totally fits her. I mean, and she was able, you know, to make it sell for her. I mean, some people can't do that, but you know, it all depends on, like you said, you was talking about the voices. You have to find your voice.
Right, and I never found my voice. She stayed within her vocal range.
Exactly, that's my point.
Myself, I was always trying to imitate other singers. That was my problem, where I never really found my voice in singing. That was my thing. I was always imitating other singers. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Minnie Riperton, whether it's
there's nothing wrong with that, because basically, in a way, she taught you how to sing, just like. You know, Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers and the Temptations taught me how to sing. In other words, listening to them records, putting the needle back, you know, if you heard a good sound or a good groove, you know, and things like that, and repeating it, you know, you understand my meaning. So there's, you know, that's no problem.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you, I'm glad. Yeah, I didn't expect to keep talking on this too, but you know, once I get caught up in these music conversations, and once
too bad you couldn't do it on the weekend.
I know. Always something on the weekend. And also I don't know. I think I'm what it is also, Garwin, me feeling like I can't be listening to it. Like I feel like I have to divorce my old self, you know, because if I'm trying to go in the direction of the Most High, I can't be stuck in the past. And
True.
if I keep talking about these old school music, I want to hear it. I want to hear Rick James, and I can't listen to Rick James. I want to hear Prince, and I ain't supposed to be listening to Prince no more. And then I feel like I'm enticing y'all.
You can't listen to nobody no more if that's the case.
I know, but that's how it feels. That's how it is. And because I'm finding out, you see, I just did something on Minnie Riperton, and I didn't realize, that she had got into Gaia worship, and
I didn't know that either. Wow.
Right. So it's like, man, because a lot of these artists, you find out, they got into all kind of the thing, occultism, spiritism, and so it's very hard. So it's like, man, maybe we just got to divorce, because like somebody said, like it's like you gotta, now I understand what's meant by being born again. Like I remember somebody had a video saying we all have to die, and I was like, die, and it wasn't necessarily just talking literally, but you do have to become a whole new person with like new memories now. So yeah. So that makes it difficult because then I can't talk about it the way I want to. With them tripping over copyright. So so it's like we can't really. It makes it not fun when I gotta always feel guilty after the stream. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have been talking about this. Maybe I'm enticing y'all to go listen to Prince or Snoop Dogg or whatever it is that I'm into, or this house music, sexually charged songs and stuff like that. And then not to mention just YouTube tripping. But
but you can't let that get to you because you got to understand music is a part of our lives. It's what we live and breathe. And you bet if you have to, you just have to ask the Most High for forgiveness. He'll understand.
That's what I'm
if
trying.
You was born with this, you can't just get it out of you overnight. It's going to take some time.
Right.
You might not be able to get it out of you.
My family, when we were going through so much, it was like music. A lot of times it's very, like, I remember when the song Good Times, like my 70s memory, late 70s memory. Yeah, and I remember when that song by Chic used to come on, Good Times, and our whole family would just be happy. And it's like, I can't really throw away. Let's say I find out Bernard Edwards and Nile Rodgers were into something wicked, which I'm sure they probably were, hanging in Studio 54. But it's like that was still such a big part of my life, my child, happy time.
Right. As they say, music can bring people together. It sounds funny, but it's true.
Right. Like I think even them old songs, I loved hearing my mama. That's why I could never criticize my mama listening, old school. So I was never like how these younger people, like I think of how, even my nieces and my little cousins were when they were staying with me in the 90s, and I'd be listening to old school songs, and they be all like, oh, this is old and this. But I never was like that with my mom. Me nor myself. I used to love my grandmamas. Like I remember we watched Motown 25 together. I remember when we were, and then that my grandmama would play it over and over again because she had it like on a cassette. I don't know if it was from being recorded but we would watch it. I loved seeing my mom and them react and you know what I'm saying, and reminisce.
Exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, like I remember the earlier songs my mama would be reminiscing on, like from her childhood, like the Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers.
Right.
And I guess that was the stuff from when my mama was a kid. And I used to love seeing, because I just like seeing my family happy. So if it made my mama happy, like I didn't like that song from the 80s, No Parking on the Dance Floor. I did not like that. I still don't really like that. By Midnight Star. But my mama used to go crazy when that song came on. And I'd be like, so I love telling her your song over when it came on.
Right.
And she gets to run it and get to, you know what I'm saying? And you can't get them memories back. And I just remember how, she'd be all happy and stuff. You say you actually like that song? Oh,
you can't get those memories back, but you can never get rid of them. They will stay with you forever.
Right. I'm gonna tell you, it be times, especially like, and I've been dreaming about my love, like my brother. It be I had recently, it be times, I ain't gonna lie, I be wishing if I could see like a hypnotist. I know we ain't supposed to mess with no hypnotism, but if I can, and I know it sounds cold, but sometimes I be wishing I could erase some certain memories, because especially if you can't have them back, it hurts. It hurts. But so it's very hard. So that's where my conflict is in my relationship with the Most High. That is. And people thought that was silly when I first said that. Like, what? That shit, like most people, oh, they may not be able to get over drinking, smoking, or fornicating. And I'm like, no, my biggest addiction is music. You know,
Yeah.
and people, and it's like people think that's not that big. No, it's actually an addiction. I am
It
addicted
is.
to music and the culture, and I
So
never
am I.
played an instrument really, but I am very much addicted to music and the culture, and that is what's actually on me. Because I'm not gonna lie, I do still want to listen to Mothership Connection, even though Unplug 'em exposed Mothership Connection to me. You know what I'm saying in this video?
Well, what do you say? Eat the meat and spit out the bone. It
It's
makes
tough.
you
It's
feel good. It's not you think it. I mean,
right.
it's poisoning you. Is that what you're trying to say?
It's oh gosh.
In a certain way, I'm trying to.
We
the
don't
point
want
I'm
to
trying to
be
make.
like Aleister Crowley, do what thou wilt. And I think
Right, I
when
get
it
you
had
what
that,
you're saying on that.
right,
Yeah.
like if it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. Now those are
Right.
messages from the devil, and we got to be careful. And because remember, that's why what I've been talking about recently on us being black people, even calling ourselves black. And some people may take it as me, okay, see, you going along with this FBA, or you going along with these raccoons up in here who want you to be shamed to be. No, I'm not with the exoticals. I ain't with none of that dumb shit. Okay, this is not about rejecting melanin. In fact, I like calling myself black. I think it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
So do I.
But
You have to understand our history and our
Right.
culture. We went from the N word, we were slaves to the N word. Then from N word to colored, from colored to Negro, from Negro to black, from black to African American, from African American to FBA.
and not who FBA. Nah, that's some YouTube ish.
But do you get my point in a certain aspect?
Yeah, who knows in 5-10 years though? It might
Right.
be, you know, but no, I know what you're saying though. I know what you said. Please don't let that become yeah, hell no. But yeah, I hear what you said. See, you and I, we both, you were being a late baby boomer, me being a Gen Xer, you know, yeah, so we would definitely we embraced black. You know, so
Right.
we both definitely embraced black. I'm proud
Yes,
of black,
definitely.
y'all, and that's a fact, y'all. Right. So that's a difficult one for me. But then when I'm considering what I'm learning, and ironically, I see that oh boy, I hope I don't want no conflict with two brothers that I listen to. You know, We Woke Now and Truth Unedited. You know, and I don't want to feed into anything, so I'm not. You know, I don't want to respond. But I see there's a little conflict over certain things. But I have been listening to Truth Unedited, and then it's not just Truth Unedited, and you know, like, and just in taking consideration when you learn about, you know, why were we referred to as black? Do you think it was not just about our melanin? Yeah, it was supposed to be in opposition to white, and that's what made it extra cool to me. but it wasn't just about that. I realized it was like they weren't just calling us black because our melanin, even though that was a symbol, but it was more about putting a curse on us. You understand what I'm saying? And I realized, especially when we begin to embrace black, but so some could say, well, nigga, nigga, negro, it all still means black, right? But it's a difference between when we had no choice but to accept it, whereas when we called ourselves, we embraced black. You understand? That was a time. It wasn't just about this is what we have no choice. I think with black, that was something that we embraced and even kind of promoted ourselves eventually.
Right.
And I noticed what happened to our people from that time period, let's say the late 60s.
Mhm.
And it did seem like, and you know, and so I think that's what they wanted us to eventually do is embrace, not just because, you know, this is what, but to embrace being black and represent black. And so I think it's something a little more esoteric. It's not just about our melanin. It's not just about, but they wanted us, when they were calling us black, they were calling us death. That's when I'm realizing, like putting, you know what I'm saying, putting a curse on us. And so I realized and even though I know some people not gonna like what Truth Unedited, you know, he had a series, We Are Not Black People. And I know that's ruffled some feathers. There's some people who feel like, oh, he's trying to appeal to, but he do make some points that is something to consider. Like I said with me, it is not about me. And me saying that I don't think we should refer to ourselves as black people no more, that is not about me going along with, because some of these people are traumatized up in here. They're so and don't get me wrong, I'm traumatized. We all are to a degree. We can't help it. But who wouldn't be in this growing up in this country? But there are some of these people, I think they've been so traumatized, like with, for instance, the exoticals, that, you know, I can't be a black female no more. I got to be anything but. I'm exotic. I'm this. I'm Native American. Just I can't be black no more. You know,
Right. You also forget something. They're traumatized and brainwashed too.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they're back feeling. You know how they said how calling somebody black back in the day was fighting words. I think they kind of, that's how they're feeling now, like as if they're being called. Yeah, that's not the case with me. Really, it is a thing of a spiritual awakening or realization. Like there may be some, and that was after I watched, definitely. Now I'd already listened to people like Truth Unedited and stuff, but then definitely after watching that Black on Black 1968 documentary or whatever that aired, I guess, on television, but and I was like, wow. It just really hit me like this ain't so cool. At first it seemed like it was cool, but then, you know, usually I saw documentaries on it and it seemed cool and made me, like when I watched that on the funk music and everything, it seemed cool. But then eventually, like, wow, this also came with a certain mentality. Like it seemed like the way I was taught, like it was a more of a pride. Yeah, we wearing our hair natural, but then there was this like gloomy mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the way that dude was talking, and I realized there was a pessimist, and I realized a lot of this pride, what I thought was black pride, it was actually like, yeah, it's great that we begin to wear our hair natural, and that was all good. But I realized a lot of this was actually, I realized now that pride and insecurity is very much connected. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And I noticed when the Bible speak on pride, it's never good. And and it just stuck me also what I was taught from my auntie. Now, yeah, my auntie and my uncle, they were not at all like pro-black. They were nothing like my mama. But I'm now realizing that, you know, they weren't so wrong in what they were showing me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even if they weren't so right, I felt that they were more about like maybe assimilation to some degree. But they weren't so
Very
wrong.
much assimilation. You know,
Right.
just recently,
Yeah, obviously.
You
yeah, but they weren't totally
just recently, you know, the masses is finally getting rid of the picture of that white Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. So of course the Jehovah's Witnesses are still
That's
there.
Generations of people, of our people, having a picture of that white Jesus hanging on the wall of their house.
Yeah, and they still with the Jehovah's Witness publications. Now, if I were to have went to my auntie and uncle and said something about that, they probably would have been harping on how that shouldn't matter. And Israel, see, this is where I got
No, it does matter. I mean,
right.
You gonna think this is blasphemous, but no, worship, pray to a God that looks like you.
But now what
that's where that self-hate began.
They would, yeah. I'm not even looking at the aesthetic, but okay,
you have to in that situation, because that's where all this insecurity and self-hate generated.
Now they would show me in scripture on how, okay, this is what they would show me. Like when I was a teenager and stuff and telling them what I had learned on us being Yasharel, they would show me, like my auntie, she would show me that it's about the spirit, it's about and so that stuck with me. But then I was like, man, there's something with our people though. There's something you can't tell me. There's something just too unique with our people. I try to remember what my auntie showed me, and I try to put my pride aside on certain things, at least when it came to that and talking about the Bible and God and yeah, but then it was like, come on, there's something more specific. There's got to be some truth to like what my brother, you know, telling me on us being the descendants of Yasharel. Because there's just something that is, and like I said, it was when what solidified it for me is actually when I did my Ancient Egypt series. Because like I said, it was information coming to me that I wasn't even seeking. I wasn't even seeking all this information, and it was coming to me. Like the Most High was bringing this information, like. Man, okay. It's like I knew because my brother had showed me and told me that we were the descendants of Yasharel going back to the late 80s, right? But I wasn't, because I put it aside. I remembered what, you know, because I didn't want the Most High displeased with me if I'm being too carnal, right?
Right.
But, or vain, or just worrying about aesthetics and phenotype and pride. So I put the two things aside. If I was going to talk on Black Lives, you know, I was going to separate that from the scriptures. But after that, why else would that information be coming to me? So the covenant had not been done away with our people. And it is important because it also says in the scriptures that were removed, it's when we remember who we are. That's when the curses go in. Also, so how can we, if we don't remember who we are, you understand what I'm saying? The covenant was not totally done away with. I'm not saying that people cannot be grafted in and other people cannot be saved. Nobody's saying that. But it also says, and this is in the Apocrypha, the books that are taken away, that were removed, okay? And they can't deny that this was a part of the biblical canon, that it was removed. It does say, when we remember who we are as Yasharel and go back to keeping the covenant, you understand? And so it is important that we do know, how the descendants of Yasharel looked, because it's part of identifying. And it also said in Deuteronomy what would be a sign. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So we gotta know all that. We supposed to. I did, and it was kind of controversial me doing on my other channel. How did quote unquote Jesus, Yahushua, how did he look? Now I know some people, they was like, why would that matter? Why would that? It's not about.
It does matter.
Yeah, and for one, we have to. Okay, for one, that's going to tell you how did Yasharel look. Yeah, and also it gives you understanding of what's going on today. So this stuff was not coming to me. I was not being presented this information for nothing. Okay, I believe even with my channel, I believe I got my channel back for, you know what I'm saying. Who knows? Maybe and then there's a part of me that's like, maybe in me having these discussions on music, maybe, you know, because some people say they were attracted to my channel, like let's say L.Nam from the Black sector. Right. They said they saw my hip hop series, right?
Right.
So now I'm not saying that
those guys ain't around no more.
Yeah, but hey, it did attract the conversations on music. It did attract. Like, there may be somebody who just tapped in to hear me talk about Martha and Vandellas, but now they hear me talking about this. So it's kind of confusing. You know what I'm saying? Like when I just set up my channel, you know, it was just an impulsive thing after me being shown something at my college. You know, but you know, when I was in the message forum, you know, we weren't just talking on this gender stuff. We were talking on everything. You go back to the we were not just talking black men versus black women. That's
like up in here.
Yeah,
not too far gone.
Right. But when I did my first YouTube video, it was just like a kind of impulse thing on, and I felt that I was even intended to talk on that. And the thing is, for me to be able to get my channel back, although I was not trying to get it back, you know, I wanted it back, but it was the person trolling me on behalf of Tommy that came to me saying he was able years later to get my channel back. I guess he had a guilty conscience or something. Maybe the Most High, you know what I'm saying? And so there's always this message, you know, you're supposed to be doing this and shit. You know, you're supposed to be talking about this. So that's what I'm saying. I'd be kind of in conflict. You understand? But then at the same, because when I was ready to go into more Bible related stuff, it was like I just wasn't, like almost like it wasn't time or something, because I was ready to go after I did them videos debunking evolution. But it was like a block, something hit, like artist block or something, like, you know how when we talk about artist block. And I was figuring maybe it just wasn't the time, because I had gathered the information. I was ready. When I look at them videos I did on evolution, the fact that I put all the time into that, I don't know how I was able to do that. Because I don't even remember half that stuff I was talking about now. But so you gotta stay. That's why I'm kind of rolling with what's on impulse. As crazy as that sound. And it just, even in me talking with you now, talking with y'all now, it's only a few of us up in here, but I always feel like, you know, it's a purpose. So I'm just, you know, hopefully the Most High, hopefully I get on it. What he intends for me to do and what he really wants me to be solely focused on. Because if it's intended for me to solely focus about the scriptures, okay, I just want to, like, I'm asking God, well, give me the inspiration, give me the motivation I had, you know, like when I was debunking evolution, give me that motivation or something again. Or maybe it wasn't the time for me. Then I was even thinking maybe because I'm a woman, maybe I ain't meant to be, you know, some people believe maybe I ain't meant to be the one talking on certain things. But you know, I'm so glad that you were here earlier.
All right.
Yeah, but it ain't like you can't join and talk about other things. All right. It ain't like
no doubt. We have to do it again.
Brown, same with the rest of y'all.
I have to head out. So
yeah. So if y'all support my channel, click in. Also leave comments like y'all used to do. All right. To support this. And support us, sister. I've been here too long. all right, to not be getting more support from y'all. Even if you're not interested in my paper dolls or whatever, just let me know that, you know what I'm saying, you listen to a sister all around. Even if you didn't, that's the problem. Just like I ain't find my voice in singing, maybe I ain't totally, I'm just a she for you. All right. So thanks so much for joining y'all in the chat room. Y'all know I love you. I love you. Actually, I love this conversation today, Darwin.
Oh, I did too.
Go back to the message form day. See, where's that person who wanted to come up on my panel? I noticed he's not here now. But
we gotta do it again.
So yes, most definitely. So we're gonna still, you know what? I don't feel so bad. In talking to you, I don't feel so bad now about doing weekend streams. Now my stream yards are almost up, so I don't know if I'm gonna pay for it. But I don't feel so bad about it now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just praying and just kind of go with the flow. I don't know if I'm going too far. If I'm enticing y'all with too much funky music.
Oh no.
I'll know if I'm going too far.
All right.
Now, we'll get back with y'all later. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks again, Garwin, for joining, and all of you in the chat.
Oh, you know I enjoy being up in here with you.
Oh, yeah. I actually like this discussion. This was therapeutic for me, actually.
All right. Glad to help.
You told me more of what I felt I needed to hear, because I've been feeling this guilt that I can't explain. So
I'm glad to help you.
Right. You understand. It's part of my memory. So y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Much peace and much love, my family.
All right. Peace out.